morning. Good morning. We are here, y'all. It is what 6? It's almost 6:30. It's almost 6:30 in the morning. We're here in the writing lab. As y'all can see, my hair is rolled up. I didn't just wake up. I've been up I've been up for maybe a couple hours, but just went up. You know what I mean? You know how you could be up, but you're not up. Yeah. That's me this morning. I'm going to make some coffee and then let's go ahead and get started writing. Y'all go ahead and get your stuff together. This is a little bit of a different time for us, right? Like um we usually go live like maybe like between midnight and like 3 a.m. or something. But y'all know what? My personal writing schedule is so random, you know. This is what it is. So it's just whenever it hits, child, just lean into it and go with it. So good morning to you. I'm just gonna make some coffee before I get started, so I can at least have a little bit of life. And you know what's so crazy, y'all? I'm drinking my very own coffee. That's what's so crazy. My very own coffee. I actually sell this coffee. The link is already in the description for y'all. Ooh, I need to order some more, y'all. Bag's getting low. I need to order some more. This is it right here, y'all. Delish. So you'll need to grab you a bag. The link is right there. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and put this link up here right now so y'all can go ahead and have it. So whenever you're ready, you can grab that. Good morning, good morning. And look, I put my little clip on there. What is this? Alligator? Is this alligator or crocodile? Whatever it is, child. Y'all know what it is. Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat what it is. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, free flowing mystic. Hey, beautiful. Good morning to you. What are you working on, sis? What you working on? What you writing this morning? I've got a couple different projects I've got going, y'all. I don't even know how, okay? Because I said to myself, I am not going to get into a whole bunch of projects this year. I've already cut some things out. So how am I already? It's January, okay? It's not even the end of January yet. And I've already got more projects on my plate. How did this happen? Y'all, OMG. So all I'm putting in here now is my beauty booster collagen. It's like if you say it fast, you're gonna say booty. Beauty booster beauty booster collagen. Okay, y'all. That's it right there. I mean, because while you're drinking your coffee, you might as well go ahead and put your beauty beauty booster. Okay. Look. Say it slow so you don't mess it up. So that's all I put in my coffee this morning. I already put a little bit of sugar in there, and I use this sugar in the raw. Because like you just want to make a little bit like healthier choices with your sugars and stuff. I mean, I guess some people like it without. Yeah, I need to have a little bit of sugar in my coffee. I don't play like that. Okay, I don't play like that with the black and the no sugar, no cream, no nothing, no nothing. So y'all go ahead and get your writing stuff together. Get your coffee, get your tea, whatever you're sipping on. And just so you know, if coffee's not your thing, you can also grab the tea from my store. We also have a Serenity tea that is really great. I was drinking it yesterday, and the coffee as well. I don't know. It's like either you're a coffee drinker or a tea drinker. I think the coffee and the tea probably goes along with the Android or iPhone people. It's like you either one or the other. Do y'all have that same experience? I like them both, child, but I think I probably lean more into tea until like recently. Maybe it's an age thing. Because it used to be, I could not even stand the smell of coffee. Like when I was growing up, and my mom, I mean, oh my gosh, she drank coffee like every day. She always had a brewing, okay? And just the smell of it used to make me sick. Oh my god. But now, child, I give me some coffee. hmm I put a little bit of I had made some banana pudding the other day, and I make my banana pudding with pet milk, with the canned pet milk, because I like the taste of it. The flavor of it is like a richer milk than like if you use something else. And so I used that, but I had some left over, so I used a little bit of that in my coffee as well. I have to have cream, so I was like, you know what? Since I still have a little bit of that pet milk, then I put some of that in there, child. I always water mine down a little bit though, just so y'all know, because that pet milk is really, it's really rich, I guess. Hey, you haven't written anything yet, but you want to start? Yes, start your short stories. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate you. Appreciate you being here, and welcome home, sis. Okay, look, this is a space for women with discernment. Okay, like I was saying some years back when I first started really talking about discernment, is that like I want friends that have discernment. Like if you don't have discernment, I don't even want to be friends with you, because like you kind of dangerous if you don't have discernment. You know, but it's just like I want to normalize that. Like, yeah, we make at least, we really try to. We make every effort in our lives to make, really good decisions, wise decisions about our lives. Part of that sometimes is knowing when you got to release some stuff, and, you can release it by writing about it in whatever form you want to. It could be a book, it could be, a series of short stories, like you said, Free Flowing Mystic. And, yeah, you love both tea and coffee depending on the mood, right? Because it is. It does seem like tea is more like in the evening, kind of like your wind down, and your coffee is like you cranking it up. So I don't know. Coffee doesn't seem to like wake me up like most people get, real, you know, excited and stuff from coffee. I really don't, but yeah, me too, girl. Tired of toxic people. Let me put that on the screen, child, because that's the whole word. Okay. And that's even the toxic people that we call family. And that's where my story really comes in, is that I'm talking about the toxicity that existed between my father and myself. And that's really tough for a lot of people to really like talk about the toxic parent in their life. So even that, it's just like, I don't want to be over here trauma bonding with each other, and we're just sitting here talking about all the wrong things our parents did to us. No, that's not where we're coming from, but you know, there'll be a little bit of that too. Okay, sometimes okay. Look, there'll be some of that too. We gotta release it, okay? The best way we know how. But but no, it's really more about the growth of it. Using that as a starting place for your healing journey. Just knowing, like, hey, these are some of the things that I dealt with as a child that, it wasn't really in my control. Wasn't at all in my control. And, it wasn't my fault. But my healing and what I do now with it is my responsibility. And I can't continue to keep bleeding on people because I have daddy issues, because I have a father wound, because of the things my father taught me, or the way he treated me, or, the things he led me to believe, or the deception. It's like now I just recognize that those things exist, and that it may show up in my life even now that I'm 45 years old. Those things may still show up. But I can use this acknowledgement as a starting place for my healing. And if that means I got to write about it, if I got to release it in a series of short stories, video series, story times, any of those things you could be working on right here in the writing lab, live with other daughters who understand that discernment is always going to be our base. And some of us, our discernment was attacked in our early years, especially some of us who are really keen on discernment, we were noticing the things our parents were doing. We weren't stupid. We didn't turn a blind eye to it, but also we just loved them down. It's like we just wanted them to be, we wanted them to be great. We wanted them to be, everything that they wanted or perceived themselves to be or portray themselves to be. But sometimes it just wasn't our reality, and we recognized that. We knew that. Like, we caught the pattern. We saw the patterns. We may have even called it out sometimes in our naivete. Like, we didn't really know we was gonna get in trouble for that. We didn't know it was a bad thing to tell the truth. But now that we're grown women, we can't be silent now. No, we're telling the truth. However we deem fit. Okay? It could be in a memoir. Okay? It could be in a memoir. It could be in a series of short stories, free flowing mystic. It could be in a poetry book. It could be in a series of story times. However you want to do it. Exactly. Family was your first lesson in toxicity. Sure. So let's not continue talking too long. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And again, I want to give a major shout out to what's this, Million Reason. Yeah, we're using Million Reason for our timer. And who would have thought about this? Like, I don't know if I would have ever thought about, like, I'm just gonna make a channel with just timers on here. You know what I mean? Like, but I love it. I love this, and I'm just so grateful that they made this little timer system that we can use for our writing sessions. So you never know, what contribution that you'll make to this community that, will just assist the daughters in telling the truth, healing, and really growing in their discernment. Okay, so that's what we're all about over here. So let's go ahead and get to writing, y'all. We don't want to spend too much time talking. I'm gonna go ahead and mute. And again, y'all let me know in the comments what you're working on. Over here, we do 50 minutes of focused writing. Okay, 50 minutes of focused writing. And then we take a 10-minute movement break. Okay, so for your 10 minutes, you could be like, usually for my 10 minutes, I'm on this vibration plate right here. And this is what I'll do when I come on the break with y'all for this next break. But I had to make my coffee this time. So usually that's what we'll do. We'll do some type of movement in that way. I also teach line dance. So if you want to like line dance during your movement break, that'll be fine. You want to do some exercises, some chair exercises are all fine too. But do some type of movement to keep your body moving and to move out that whatever that trauma is, whatever heavy memories you're bringing back up from telling the truth. You want to keep moving that out of your body. Okay, so we'll do 50 minutes of focused writing. Okay, research, putting prompts into your chat GPT, conceptualizing, outlining, actively writing, editing, whatever part of the writing process you need to be doing. This is the time and space to do that. Okay, y'all. So let me know in the chat what you're working on. You have any timelines that you want me to be aware of to send you some great creative energy. You got it, sis. Okay, so let's go ahead and start writing. beautiful. How was it? How y'all doing? Y'all all right? Y'all all right? Let me take these shoes off so I can get my vibration on, honey. Okay. Woo. Okay, y'all. So, how was that last session? Y'all okay? It was for me, y'all. It was pretty good. So I was working on two different things. I was kind of multitasking, but I was doing something that I could multitask on. It didn't necessarily need my undivided attention. And I also created some binders so that I can keep all of the stuff straight. Remember, I was telling you at the beginning of the video that I have some projects, some events, and stuff that are coming up that I have been, voluntold. I guess some stuff is volunteer, but some of it, a little bit of it is voluntold. But I gotta do it. And it's stuff like that that comes up, and you like, okay, depending on who asked you, who voluntold you, you're like, all right, I'll do it. So I got a couple things coming up, and I just want to make sure that I'm keeping everything straight. There's some stuff that I am like over it, In fact, there's a few things that I'm over it. Like I have a prominent role in it, and because I'm doing so much. Plus, I'm doing my own stuff, writing my own books and creating content for you guys and stuff like that. I don't want anything that I'm doing to like fall through the cracks. I don't want to get lost on anything I'm doing. I don't want to get overwhelmed, you know. So for me, it's best to like create my binders, have a good plan. So everything that I'm involved in, I usually create like some type of SOP, some type of standard operating procedures that I want to go by. And that's for, even though some of it may be things that I haven't done before, right? That you wouldn't normally have an SOP for because there is no standard, because this is your first time, or, people who did it prior to you didn't have one. So you have to establish it. But as soon as I get involved in a project, I go ahead and establish an SOP. I do this with my ChatGPT. This is why I really promote ChatGPT a lot, because it's like having like a second brain. It's like having a really good assistant, like really good. One that you don't have to keep asking to do stuff, one that you don't have to remind, one that is innovative too, that would, if you train your chat will help you to think about things that you didn't think about, so that, some of those things don't slip through the cracks, especially if it's something that you haven't done before. And you want to make sure that you do with the spirit of excellence. You want to do it right the first time. You want to minimize as many kinks as possible, because it's your first time too. So you want to have some type of standard about how you do everything that you need to do. So I created all of that stuff in my chat GPT. And so I go ahead and transfer the things that we've created in there, something that'll help me, like to some kind of standard to go by. What am I doing? What is the purpose? What are the dates? What are the things that can slip through the cracks? What needs to be done first? Like what's the order and in the way that things need to be done? Because sometimes, you run into a time conflict where it's like you don't realize that you need to do certain things so much in advance in order for it to be ready for the event. Like let's say we're doing something like, for instance, this project that I'm working on, you guys just saw me create this binder. This is the Elks Idol. And so in my local Elks Lodge, I'm a member, and I do karaoke and line dance. I teach line dance, and then right after line dance, we go straight into karaoke. And I host karaoke. And so for the month of March, I'm organizing an Elks Idol competition. So it's, just a really friendly competition. I call it a competition, but really it's just a way of bringing us together, having fun. And, sometimes people like to have a little bit of competitiveness in there. And that's, I want to keep it fun. So I've created my, my Elks Idol SOP. I've got everything in here of how I want it to go. This is my first time doing this, so I don't have a standard, right? And but I've heard some other places that have done it before, who have done like these little singing competitions or whatever, like karaoke competitions. And so I've heard from different people that had, best practices. This is what we like. This is what we didn't like. And so I've kind of incorporated that into my own plan, even though I don't know what will like, with me doing it. But I already know that these are some things that, in the past or in other competitions people didn't like. So I already included it in this one just to make ours more fun, more interactive, more community centered, something that really brings people together instead of like, the negative side of competition. There's a positive and there's a negative side of competition. And I want to lean in heavy into the positive sides of it. And so I've created the SOP, like right here on the cover. This is our promo. Chat GPT created this, y'all. So what I did, I gave Chat GPT my photo. The photo that I gave Chat GPT did not have a microphone stand in it. I asked Chat GPT to do that. I told it not to change any of my facial features or my body features, but it did do something funky with my hand on the initial change. But I was able to have it corrected without messing up anything else. If you guys know, if you've ever edited any photos in ChatGPT, sometimes it can get really funky, right? Like sometimes you could tell it to change, like you're like, just change this one thing, and then it'll go and change something like drastic, and it'll be like, wait, what? And I have to show y'all one day how it did me one time. But so I told ChatGPT like to fix my hand. I said have it to fall naturally, which I think this is how it was falling in the original photo. I think I had it like that, or yeah, I think it was just like this in the original photo. But this hand in the original photo was up like this. It was like up like that. But ChatGPT changed it, and I told it to put. I said you could put a microphone stand right there in front of me, and do that. But don't change anything else about like my facial features and my body features. So this is what it eventually came up with a lot of tweaks. And then every tweak I did, I told it, I said, don't change anything else. Just change what I tell you to change. Okay? Like you have to be specific. But you could talk to it like you're talking to, a human being, except, the output that you get is going to be a lot faster. You know, you might have to change, and tweak some things here and there. But as far as like speed and accuracy, it's on point. Then the last tweak I made was when I told it to correct that hand, and then I asked it to go ahead and put in like just a quick vibe checklist, and the vibe checklist says all voices welcome, strong singers welcome, nervous singers welcome, applause only. So, and then it says this is about confidence, fun, and community. So it's just showing people just quickly, on here that look, we know everybody's going to have different vocal talents, and we're not just saying we want all the best singers, like what we consider the best, because I mean that's all subjective, right? Like I mean, there's a lot of singers out there that some people say like they can't sing, but then other people say, well, they can. So it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of like, I want people to know like it's all about the vibe. Like it's all about, yeah, vocal ability is gonna have to be a factor. And even I have that in here about, like the vocal ability is gonna be a factor. However, there are other judging criteria, and one of them like presence and confidence. So like your presence and your confidence is gonna matter. You guys have seen like weaker singers, but because they were so confident, they had that stage presence about themselves. It was like it was the bomb. So then song choice and delivery, everybody gets to choose their own song. It's not like at first I was gonna do like theme nights and stuff like that, like maybe like a gender bender night where if you're a woman you have to sing a song by original by a man or something like. But y'all, we're not even gonna get into that because then that's gonna complicate it for people and it's gonna make it less fun. I want people to choose whatever they like, whatever they feel like their vocal can do, that they can really like embody the song and like really like give like that, you know what I'm saying, that energy, that confidence, that stage presence, and you can only do that when you pick your own song. It's like you already know in your mind, like, okay, I do this song pretty good. So, and then crowd connection. So it's like, connect with the crowd, but also this is going to encourage people to bring their family members and their friends to come and support them because they know that the crowd is going to have, a part in it, a part, but not all, because you know how like let's say what was like Showtime at the Apollo or something like that, right? Like that was heavy on crowd participation. So you could get booed and like kicked off the stage depending on how the crowd receives you. But crowd is going to have a part of it, but not all. Okay. Then there's consistency and growth. So throughout the weeks, like they'll be able to see like how you've grown, and that's going to factor in too, right? Then audience engagement. So we've got crowd connection and audience engagement because those are two different things, right? Like if you like when you can get like the crowd to like dance with you and like stuff like that. If you can get people to be active, like that's kind of like your audience engagement. That's you getting people involved, and that's going to factor in too. So I've got all of that in my Elks Idol SOP. Okay. So I encourage you guys to, as you're getting into doing different projects and stuff like that, um, create yourself a quick SOP, like a quick guide to keep yourself straight. Um, y'all, lifesavers and game changers. Okay, y'all. So that's my little nugget for you for this 10-minute movement break. Let me check the comments. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Miss Barbara. How you doing, free flowing mystic? You okay? Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Um, Also, what I want to do is like make sure I give you guys some good nuggets on our 10-minute movement breaks. Make sure y'all are actually getting up and moving, okay, y'all? Like move all that trauma and all that heavy stuff that you're writing about. Move that out of your body, okay? So um, keep yourself moving, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. We're gonna go right on into our second 50-minute writing session. Hold on, y'all. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started writing. child, how was it? How was it, girl? Let me know. We did that. Okay. If you've been with us from the beginning, you have done 2 50-minute live writing sessions, and you've done two. Well, we're on our second movement break. Go ahead and start my vibration plate. I brought my binder over to share with y'all what I was doing, what I was working on. Y'all let me know. Okay, good, 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 good. Free flowing mystic, if you're already gone. Good. And see that, and that's a good note to highlight. I know she's probably not on here right now because she said she had to go. But y'all, if that's the case, that's fine. If you can only do one 50-minute session, that's fine. If you can only do 30 minutes, that is still moving you forward in your writing goals. That's moving you forward, okay? And that is good. That is progress. You need to make note of that. You need to honor that. You need to, make sure that you give yourself grace in that. That's good, okay? And I'm super proud of y'all. Y'all been hanging in there too. And if you couldn't hang in there the entire time, I'm still proud of you. I'm glad that you're here. You're welcome here. And even if you're not a daughter, you're still welcome here. It's just that my message is 2 daughters, 4 daughters. Um, but let's say that you're a man and you're working on telling your truth, and you're welcome here too. And also, make sure that you invite somebody. Like invite somebody to be like, hey, we're gonna do these live writing sessions. And then also let me know in the chat, is there a better time for you? Like for me, I'm retired from the army. I am I guess you could probably say I'm like a full-time writer, like that's what I do most. Even though like you don't see that much, you don't really see that part. Like probably more of what you see me doing is more community stuff. Um, I also consider myself to be a community influencer. I bring people together in community. I do community activities. I'm very active in my community. I support my community. I always believe that charity begins at home. And the reason I'm so passionate about it is because, I grew up where, my father specifically, he always felt that everything that important that he did was outside of the home. And so that's what his focus was. His focus was on the church, on his businesses, on, everything that he wanted to do that made him, really look good. And it's like, I understand that. I get it, because, like we all have a purpose outside of parenting, like we have our desires and our dreams and our goals and things that we want to accomplish too, So I understand, I just, my wish, was that my father had more balance, and so I know how it can be where you don't have balance, like one way or another. Maybe you're very active in the community, or maybe you're not active in the community at all, and maybe your focus is on your home. And and what you really want is that balance. Um, so I try to maintain a balance too. My kids are grown now, and really, to be honest, I don't even know if I had a balance when they were kids and they were still in our home. I think that I was more active in our home, but I might not have been too. That might have been something I was oblivious to at that time, but it's something I'm aware of now. And I'm definitely, very apologetic about any time that, my kids may have felt slighted, that they didn't get what they needed from me, or maybe that my focus was more on what I was doing outside of our home that, that had my attention. I don't, I don't even know if my kids felt slighted in that way, in the same way that I did. I honestly think that my kids felt slighted more because of my illnesses. You guys know what maybe you don't know, but I have fibromyalgia and lupus, and that's why I was medically retired from the army. And so a lot of my focus was just on maintaining my day-to-day health. I was in a lot of pain, um, a lot of mental anguish. I had a lot going on mentally as well as physically, and I think most of when my kids were during those real formative years when after I started to get sick and stuff, that's why I noticed like my focus was not so much on like what was happening outside of home, but what was happening in my body, which I know from a child's perspective, that's not really something that's understood. And I'm praying that through telling my story and telling my truth that, my kids begin to understand, but also I want to understand, like it's not their job to understand me, it's my job to understand me and understand how what I was going through impacted how I was as a parent and to do something different now. I can't make up for what was done, I can't even fix what was done, and I hate that. I hate that so bad, I hate that for all of us, I can't fix it. But, moving forward, I can be better. I can do better. That awareness, that apology, the acknowledging of, even something that was outside of my control, which was my health at the time. I didn't know how it could be in my control. But it turns out that healing from my father wound, from my daddy issues, was a good piece of it. It was a piece of it, was a component of it. You know, realizing that whatever happened to me happened. Wasn't my fault, but it is my responsibility now. So what am I doing now? What am I doing to maintain a healthy lifestyle, healthy diet, a healthy mental state, a healthy spiritual state, so that I could be a better mom now. I'm never going to not be a mother. And now I'm even a grandmother, And so now I think about, how I can show up now, you know. So let me share this with y'all. I think I am done with this project for now. The main thing that I'm going to be focused on with this Elks Idol event is just getting people to sign up, securing the judges, and securing the prizes. So I've done all of the legwork and the planning now. I've even created scripts for myself. So during the actual event, I have some type of outline that I'm going by, as well as when I actually talk to the judges. I've talked to two of the three judges that I want, and then of course I'm going to have two backup judges. Because that's just good practice, right? That's just good standard practice to make sure that you have your minimum locked in, but you also have some backups just in case, right? So we're capping it at 12 singers, but also we'll probably have a couple of backups, just in case someone backs out. I mean, because sometimes people get nervous as they get closer. Sometimes things come up, you know. God forbid any tragedy strikes, and people just may not feel like it anymore doing the competition, and maybe they'll want to, bow out of it, and then we'll have a backup to go ahead and just take that person's spot. So it's all about the planning process, and when you plan properly to begin with, then a lot of the stuff that may come up, at the last minute, you're able to handle it. You minimize the things that come up at the last minute, right? When you properly plan. Um, and so I think we have a good plan now. I even put into my chat GPT that I'm done with this, and this is where I see things that I still need to do. And then chat GPT gave me some suggestions about some other things that makes it feel correct. So he gave me the suggestion to have two backup judges, so that, just in case one of the judges can't make it, something comes up, whatever, we have a backup. Um, and then it suggested a couple of other things too. Lock in the prizes, and then it suggested that I only name a couple of the prizes that are going to be given out, and then have a couple of mystery, things that people will probably end up even donating close to the last minute, where I won't even have time to really promote it or advertise it, which is fine, because then people are like, they know what the main prize is going to be, but then there's other things that are going to be given out too, as part of the prize. And then, of course, I probably decide if I'm going to have just one main prize, or if they're going to be maybe like a second, even third place prize or something like that. So those are things that we'll decide, as more than likely it'll be dependent on the prizes that we get. Like if we get enough prizes and plenty of prizes, then we'll make that second, third category. But if not, then we'll just have that one main Elks Idol winner. So that's going to be dependent on how successful we are in getting these prizes. So if you're local, okay, even if you're not local and you want to give, you want to give a prize, if you want to give a cash prize, child, let me know, okay? Because I know the contestants will absolutely love, what they get. So we've already started building up the prizes in. I think it's gonna really be great, you guys. So now I've got this binder done. Y'all saw me do that in this 2 hour writing session. And it wasn't even 2 whole hours. It was 2 50-minute sessions. Like, how much is that? Like an hour and 40 minutes or something like that, right? So we didn't even do 2 whole hours, y'all, and we were able to accomplish a pretty good bit. I've got everything organized. I even put the folders in the back. I've got an additional advertisement in the back, the promo sheet. These are the folders that I've created for the judges. They have a quick rule sheet in there, so it's telling the judges like their rules to go by. Each folder will have the rule sheet in there. So each week the judges will, they'll be able to refresh themselves on what the rules are. They'll already be in here. And then I even created the score sheet. I've got the score sheet in here already. Now we're going to have 12 singers and 3 judges, right? So each judge will get a sheet per contestant. So each folder will have 12 sheets in them, and then and each judge will have a set of 12. So at the top, we'll put the singer's name right there. We've got this is a scorecard sheet, the singer's name, and then each week, March 3rd, March 10th, March 24th, and March 31st. And the only day we're going to skip is that these are all on Tuesdays because that's when I do line dance and karaoke. So we'll only skip one in the middle of the month, the 17th, right? That's St. Patrick's Day, right? Yes, St. Patrick's Day. So for St. Patrick's Day, we'll have like a theme night, right? So like, wear green and something like that, right? So we'll have our line dance night, karaoke night, and we'll be actually kind of taking a break from the competition, which is good, right? Like to take a little bit of break in the middle, and then give the singers a break too, and then they come back on the 10th, come back strong on the 10th. And then after the 10th, the night of the 10th is when we advance the last 6 singers. So only 6 singers will advance to the final night. So everyone's going to perform for all those 3 nights, and then 6 singers will advance to the final round. Okay, so that way you're not like eliminate. We're not even calling it eliminations because I don't even like that. Okay, because this is supposed to be fun and stuff. So we're not be like you're getting eliminated. No. Okay, let's just remove that all that vocabulary. Okay, chocolate. We don't like it like that. We want people to just like, okay, you're going to advance to the next round, or then you're not going to advance. But we're not focusing on that part. So everybody needs 3 songs and a 4th possible if they make it to they advance to the final round. And so that's going to really give you like a good like assessment of all the singers, right? Because I mean, let's just say you have one night off night, like you don't give it your best that night. Well, you don't want the whole thing, like you don't want to be like eliminated because you had a bad night. You want it to be where, okay, you can see the progression. One night may not be, the end all be all. You're going to go through all the rounds. You're not going to be judged harshly all these rounds and stuff like that. But, depending on the judgment will be depending on if you advance to the final round. Okay. We gotta, minimize it down a little bit, people. Okay. So these are ready to go. And then the only thing that needs to be done is for me to print off, each the 12 sheets that needs to go in each folder, which I'm not gonna do that myself. I'm gonna do that at the lodge. Okay, the lodge can print that off. So, and then I have the sign-up sheets. The sign-up sheets are done too. So this weekend we'll start sign-ups. And what I did here was got another little folder. This is my handy dandy folder. And so I have the sign-up sheet here, right? So it's got their names, all that information, and then their songs, right? Their song selection. And this is good because it's going to let me know ahead of time how to go ahead and have those songs preloaded, already ready to go, because we shouldn't be having to search for songs the night of, right? I can already have those done. Like I can even like in our system, I can have it where week 1, whatever the song list is, I can already have it done in a folder, in a playlist for March. When do we start? March the 3rd, right? So is that right? This really starts March the 3rd. Oh my gosh. Oh y'all. Okay, yeah. So anyway, so March the 3rd, what was I saying? I can have a playlist for March the 3rd, have all the songs already in there. March the 10th, have all the songs already in there. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff can be done and planned ahead. And that's what this is going to help me to do, because I have a lot of projects going on, right? So I can't have stuff like slipping through the cracks. I don't want any of my projects to be unsuccessful. I want everything to, go off without a hitch. Nothing slips through the cracks. Everybody has a ton of fun and wants to do it again, because really how you plan stuff is, depending on how people will want to participate. If they're gonna, want to fool with you the next time, you know. So I want that to already be A1 and good to go. Okay, child. I got this spirit of excellence from my mama. Okay. Okay. Cynthia don't play around. Okay. So I took a lot of notes from her, you know, and just said, hey, I got to plan ahead, people. What is say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay, even not planning is a plan. Okay, people. And then of course in my handy dandy um, SOP, which I put the advertisement on the front. I've got my design and dance journal in here, okay? Because on Tuesday nights is when we do our line dance, and this is a journal that I created to help the daughters who are trying to heal through movement, right? So this is. Let me just hold this up. Let me hold folder. So this is our design and dance journal, and it's a journal, and that's the Judge Heal Move, right? So you make good judgments on what's no longer serving in your life, and whatever those things were, like let's say it was something that you need to heal from, like in my situation it was from daddy issues, and so you could write about that in your journal. It has here where you can put your date, what you see. This is I deserve, this is what are you deserving, what are you seeing, what are you perceiving, what judgment are you making in different situations. That's what this means, okay? And so for me, I'm going to include a lot of my line dance stuff in here, like impact that I've made. I want to make note of it. I want to, just keep the records of those things too, because people's lives are changing, and I just want to record that. So you could definitely grab this. It's in my bookstore, and also I think I forgot to put in the chat, but you can grab the decision audit. Let me go ahead and put that on here now, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. Make sure that you like the video on your way in or your way out. Excuse me. Ooh, no itchy. So make sure that you like the video. Make sure you share the video, and in the chat, let me know what you're working on. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? This, like, what are you writing? Are you doing a video series? Are you doing a memoir? Are you doing some story times? And what's going on? What's going on with you, sis? Okay. And then if you need to grab that decision audit, like if you are, someone who is, facing that dreaded decision of like, do I cut my parent off? Do I limit contact with them? I had to limit contact before I cut my father off. So sometimes it's steps that you take. It's maybe even an escalation. Maybe you limit contact first, and then you see, even with the limited contact, it's still a problem. You know what I mean? There's still a problem. The relationship is still a problem. The access is still a problem, and you need to still like address that. Hold on, y'all. Woo. Okay, is that it? Man, that was like 4 sneezes. I usually sneeze in 3s. Okay, excuse me, y'all. So okay, I'm gonna let y'all go for now. Y'all, if you are still feeling the mojo, because a couple of y'all are still on right now. If you still feeling it and you're still in that writing mood, keep going. Okay. On YouTube there is a timer countdown on Million Reason. Million Reason is the YouTube page that I use for for that timer countdown. So y'all go ahead and go and use that timer countdown and keep on going. Do another 15-minute session if you've got it in you. Do it. Okay, if you still got the mojo going, your creative juices are still going. Go ahead and start another 15-minute timer and do it again. I'm probably gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take a little break. I have to take a break, and then I'm probably gonna rub on my paprika and chili balsam. I always show you guys this because while I'm sitting there, you guys know I have fibromyalgia and lupus, so I have pain throughout my body. And as I'm sitting there, my hips will start aching. They'll start feeling a little funny and stuff. And then I just put a little bit of this gel, and it's a pain relief gel. Okay, pain relief gel. Paprika and chili balsam is a massage gel that is excellent, and you can grab it in my store right now. In fact, I'm going to put the exact link on there, so you can scan that QR code and it'll take you directly to the paprika and chili balsam. It's actually $14.90. And while you're over there, go ahead and peruse the site, girl, and grab you some other stuff. Grab you some of this body sculpting gel. Okay, the girls want a flat tummy. Go ahead and grab you some of this, child. I use both of them. Wonderful, wonderful products. And so make sure y'all go ahead and grab some of that from my store. And let me show y'all what it looks like. Look at that. And all you're doing, I love it on my hip, y'all. Y'all know I line dance. So how do I continue to line dance? And I teach it too. And I was telling my mom one day, I was like, in line dance class, nobody does all the dances but me. You know what I mean? Everybody has their break, and they sit down and take a break between songs, or maybe they don't like a particular song or dance or whatever, so they take a break on that one and get back out there. But I'm out there the entire time. And so, how am I maintaining? How am I keeping my knees from giving out? It's because I'm using this paprika and chili balsam. Whenever I feel a tinge or a little pain in there, I go ahead and rub that on there. So I'm rubbing it on my hip right now. And I just pull my shirt up, rub it on that hip, child, and let it do its thing. And so you can go ahead and grab you a tube of that. Grab you 2 tubes, girl. I keep one in my car, in my bag, I have one upstairs in my glam room, and I've got one in here. Wherever, child, that pain hits, I want to have my paprika and chili balsam ready to go, girl. Okay. So make sure y'all grab that. Make sure you like the video on your way out. And let me know in the chat what you're working on. I'm your accountability partner. You're my accountability partner. And as long as we're doing this together, y'all, I promise you, we are going to make some great progress. We are going to put some great things out into the world. We are daughters of discernment, okay? And we don't mess around, okay? We don't mess around. But we have a lot of grace, okay? We lead with a lot of grace. Okay, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. I love y'all. And remember, you are important to me. I need you to survive. Bye-bye for now.